Hello viewers, welcome to yet another edition of the Youth Dialogue. I am your host, Jenna Basonko. This program is exclusively brought to you by QTV. I'm so excited. Well, today we are in Sanyang. We're here to meet a young lady who does poultry, at the same time has a boat. When we had 1 year, when the show had 1 year, we had a lot of people give us recommendations that they want to see more of outdoor programs. That is why today we decided to come all the way to Sanyang to bring you an outdoor program. Like I said before, she's a young woman having a poultry, at the same time taking care of a boat. This is exciting. But we're going to go and meet Rohi, and then we'll see how Rohi started and what really motivated Rohi. So let's go and meet Rohi. We will meet her now. Hi, Rohi.
Hello, Jenna. I'm okay.
Yeah, nice to meet you finally. Yeah, nice to meet you finally.
Nice to meet you.
So, like I said before, when we had 1 year as Youth Dialogue, I had a lot of people who gave me recommendations that we should start having outdoor programs. So that is basically one of the things that motivated us to come here today, to show people what these young people are doing exactly, rather than bringing you to be at the studio to have a conversation with us. And we are here in Sanyang, and we see that you have a poultry. So after here, we're going all the way to Gunjur to see your boat. Yes. Rohi, you can just say hi to my viewers.
Hi. How are you?
Yes. So let's go inside the poultry and see what you guys do with your birds. Yes, this way. Is it this way?
Yeah. Okay. Well, since we have our rules for people not to get inside the poultry, based on so many things like the hygiene, and because they caught diseases so quickly. So I think this is where we will stop and see if we can take.
Okay. So normally, do you have like a veterinary? Or
yes, we do have vet consultants who normally anytime we have issues, we consult them and they will advise us in what best way we need to treat these bats. Like those ones we see there, they are isolated. Because they used to peck the others inside.
Okay, so they are the ones that actually gave you the recommendations that we should not get inside for hygiene and stuff. Yes, so Rohi, really, what motivated you to start with this? Because normally people say men all the time are the ones that do some of these things. And I know it's a surprise for some people to see a woman actually being in charge of a poultry. And I see a lot of birds. Before you talk to us about your motivation, how many birds do you have here?
We have 1,350 birds.
1,350.
Yes.
Wow, okay. So what really motivated you to start this interesting?
Well, I think I would say it all started when I got admission into the university, and I realized out of what I do and what my husband does, at the end of the day, we won't be able to support my schooling, support the kids, and do whatever that we are to do out of it. So what business could I venture into and support myself, the family, and everything that I need to do? So I decided to get into poultry to a friend's advice that it's a good business, at the same time it's profitable if well managed.
Okay, so how does it start? Having a business when it comes to poultry, how does it start? You know, tell us the process, because like I always say this, that Youth Dialogue is that particular program that is a mentorship for young people, because young people watch, get inspired, and know some of the steps that they can use to actually reach where young people who are doing extremely well have reached. So just tell us how it starts having a poultry, because maybe in the next few weeks we will see young people being inspired to also start their own.
Sure. I think it all have to start with the idea. The idea is the most important thing. Secondly, you need to be dedicated towards the thing that you want to start with. Like myself, I had the idea when my friend told me about it. I grew interest and started small. With that, eventually I grew up to this stage, alhamdulillah.
Okay, so do you have to go and buy fuel? You know, I just want us to tell us the process in depth. Yes.
First, you have to start small. Like what we did with us, we first bought 40 bats. We started this whole farm with 40 bats at my mom's house, where we built a 5 by 4 meter house, and that's where we kept the 40 bats. We grew it into 150, 300, and with time 500 up to this extent.
Up to this extent. So that is how it happened. Also, so how is the management? Who helps you do the management?
Well, I'm into the business with my younger brother, who is a Bakwe returnee, and also my cousin. We have about 2-3 other employees with us in the farm here. So the management, advertising the products and all that, I did it. The farm work is done by them.
Okay.
That's him and my younger brother, and also the 2 other people that we employed in the farm.
Okay, you talked about the fact that your younger brother is a returnee. So how did it happen now that he's into poultry? You know, are you the one who suggested to him, or he just saw you doing it and then felt like he needs to be into something?
Yeah, when he came back, it was like, that's the end of the world. But seeing me going to work at the same time, managing my small farm, he also grew interest and had this friend who was willing to support him for him not to go through the back way. So he asked, what can he do? But maybe seeing what I do, he grew interest into it and was motivated that whatever he was to go and do there with this thing, I think with time he will be able to develop himself and all that. He also decided to join me so that we can make it a joint business.
So Rohi, do you think that as a young person, you can have a poultry business and be able to take care of bills at home? Is it possible with the poultry?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, elaborate. Like I always say, it's that mentorship, you know. Don't be shy, you have to elaborate, because this is, you know, young people are watching, and most of the time, when I invite young people here, I want them to be free and actually express themselves. Talk about everything that you want to talk about, that you feel that will be of benefit to young people who are watching. So talk to us about the profitability aspect of it.
I think the most important thing in every business is you, as the business owner, realize the profit. Like for us in this farm, we have monthly salaries, like for each and every one.
Okay.
It's not like Rohi owns the farm or Asan owns the farm.
Okay.
The farm is an independent body for itself. At the end of the day, whatever the farm produces, we have our pay out of it.
Okay.
And go home, settle whatever that we have to settle. If we are to take anything from this place, it will be like taking a loan. At the end of the month, we need to pay again.
Okay, so that's how it happens. So how does it work? You are married, you're going to the University of the Gambia, and you have this at the same time. How do you try to balance all of these things? Because sometimes I see young people complaining that I won't be able to work, I'm going to school, you know. We've heard excuses like that. So in terms of yourself, how do you balance it? So that these young people will know that they have to balance things, you know. We are young people, but we need to work. We can get married at the same time, you know, at the early age, not at the early age, at the right time. As you can see, Rohi, this is the right time. This is the perfect time to get married, at the same time working and managing a business. How does it work?
I think it all has to do with the passion. It all has to do with what you love. Here I create time for myself. Like I told you, my younger brother is with me here, my cousin is with me, and we also have our employees in the farm. And I'm also at Gunjur.
Okay.
So here I have my timetable, that's a 24-hour timetable, which I paste and know that this time is for the farm, this time is for the seaside, this time is for school, and this time is for my family. Like the kids, they do go to school up to 4. But before closing, I make sure they reach, they meet me at home. Because I think they too need that motherly love and all that.
Of course.
All did not need like you being at work, the money. At the end of the day, they need that motherly love. So I create time and give them what they need.
Enough space. So I think young people, you should be motivated. She's a mother. She's going to school, she's managing a business, and then she has a husband. So I think putting all these things together, and it's working well for you, you deserve to be congratulated.
Thank you.
Yes, so I guess you also have a boat, which is all the way in Gunjur, and then we are going to go there and take a look at it. But before we go, how is life at the University of the Gambia? You know, how is life?
It's a little bit tough.
It's a little bit tough. But Rohi, sorry, I just have to make this correction, because I hear young people sometimes tell me, Jenaba, your University of the Gambia students in this program. I'm like, no, that doesn't happen. It's a coincidence. I didn't know that. I didn't know that Rohi was at the University of the Gambia. At some point, I wasn't interested in Rohi's educational background. All I was interested in is, this is a young girl managing a poultry. At the same time, she has a boat. So just to make that clear a little bit, I joke about about it sometimes, but I know these young people do not. But anyway, this one is a coincidence. So how is life at the University of the Gambia there? And what are you studying?
I'm studying development studies.
Okay.
It's a little bit tough, but all I have to say again is it has to do with the passion. What you love, and I think that's it.
Yeah, and then Rohi, sometimes I hear young people, young entrepreneurs tell me that we need support from the government. Did you receive any kind of support from the government? And you are telling us that you're doing extremely well. Are you receiving any support? Have you received any support?
Yes, I do. I receive support from YEP.
Okay.
And I do receive series of supports from institutions like, or organizations like Gene Gambia, Empretech and all that. They invite us on regular trainings that help us equip our business in the right way. But again, we are pleading with government, because in every business we have our challenges. Like with the poultry, we are really combating with the imported eggs that are coming into the country. Like normally the prices that they want us to sell our eggs at and our cost of production, it will never work. Like right now we are selling eggs at 165, some 175. For us at the farm here, we are selling at 140. But even as that, people are not convinced, or they are trying to look at the other one, which is being sold at 125. So it's a great challenge.
Okay.
We are asking government if there is a way that they can help us in order for us to be able to sell these things. I don't know whether they can reduce the rate of the imported.
Okay, so you're saying that the government should reduce the rate of imported eggs. Sure. Will you be able to provide as Gambian?
Yes, because there is a man at somewhere, Mohamed Sanyang, who is having a capacity of 34,000.
Okay.
And there are so many people getting into poultry.
Okay.
The likes of ML, he's building a house with same like this
okay.
one, Sonaba Poultry and all those people. We are all struggling with
okay.
egg sales. Like right now, I have so many eggs in the store here. Because of price, they are not ready to take.
Okay, so but do you have any marketing strategy that you use? Any marketing strategy?
Yes, I do. All I look at is my cost of production. Any little profit that I can realize out of it, pay these people and sustain the business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you, when I talk about marketing strategy, I mean like, do you have any online advertisement or delivery, or how to communicate with your audience to make sure that they keep on buying? How do you do it?
With social media, I think I'm very poor. But
okay.
when it comes to like deliveries and all that, I go to the extent of delivering freely
okay.
to my customers, depending on the crates of eggs that you are buying.
Depending on the crates of eggs. Okay, good luck. But I think social media too is very, very good. I've seen certain businesses develop on social media.
Sure.
So I think maybe if you can get a sister or somebody who will be able to manage it for you, that will be fine. And I will try to get mine delivered as well. I will try to get mine delivered. So anyway, we are going to go to Gunjur right now to take a look at the boat.
Okay.
I'm so excited to see it. So let's take a short break and go and take a look at that, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. It's the Youth Dialogue today with Rohi. Like I always say, she is that girl that has the poultry at the same time, and she has a boat going to the University of the Gambia. She has children. She's a mother. She's a wife. She's the whole package. Let's take a look at the boat and we'll be right back. Welcome back, viewers. You are watching the Youth Dialogue on QTV. Like I said before, today we visited Rohi. Rohi is a mother, Rohi is a wife, Rohi owns a boat, and Rohi has a poultry farm. So like we said before we went for the break, I said that we will come to Gunjur where her boat is, but unfortunately I don't think you guys are walking today.
Not today.
Yeah, you guys are not walking today. So yes, let's go back to the conversation proper of how the boat also came about, because I know there's no relationship between having a poultry and having a boat at the same time. I can see that this is a big businesswoman standing right next to me. So let's talk about the boat issue. How that came about? You bought it, or the whole entire process? How did it start?
Yeah, I built the boat. I think it all came about when I realized so many young Gambians are getting into poultry, and market is a challenge for so many of us. As a business personnel, I think we all have our option A, B, and C. So realizing that poultry is becoming congested, what other business can I do? Since I was into buying and selling of shrimps, I deem it necessary to build my own boat and have my own catches. There I will determine my market. So that's how it comes about. I started building it from grassroots to the end of it.
Okay, so when it comes to the boat, how does it work? You employed few people who are helping?
Yeah, I think the boat has a team of 10 that normally goes inside water. These people you were seeing.
Yeah, over there.
Yeah, when the boat slams, about 25 of them walks on the boat.
Okay.
We pay them on each of these baskets for $25 that they bring down, either to the factory there or to the freezer vans.
Okay.
Some market vendors will be starting.
Okay, so there are certain market vendors that you sell here, or you go to the Golden Lead or something that you showed me.
The freezer vans.
Okay, so that is how it works.
I can say the total number of people that the boat employs is a daily work, but it goes up to 35 per day.
Okay, so how is the profit? I'm always interested in that, because you know sometimes you will tell young people that get into this, but if you're telling them to get into something, you have to make sure that when they get into it, they'll be able to pay the bills as well.
Sure.
Entrepreneurship, but what are these young people getting out of it? So how does this one work? How profitable? Compare having a boat and having a poultry. Which one is more lucrative?
Fish is a more lucrative business than poultry, because like with fish, yesterday when you called me, I have catches of 175, which they have to give 40 to the company and sell 135 to these people going to Mali or Senegal.
Okay.
So at a spot you can make a profit of 15, 17, or even 13,000 per day.
Okay, at that point, at that spot. So how does it money? You pay them per day?
Yeah, it has to do with 50-50 percentage base.
Okay.
Whatever catches that they have at the end of the day.
It's 50 for you?
Yeah, 50 for, they call the materials,
okay.
not you the boat owner, but at the end of the day, the money goes back to you.
So the money comes back to you. So any difficulty, what are some of the difficulties when it comes to owning a boat and fishing and all that? What are some of the difficulties that you people go through, especially as a young person?
Yeah, the most difficult part of owning a boat is if you don't have someone honest in that boat. They can slam anywhere because they go fishing as far as Senegal, as far as Mali. So wherever they want to slam, they can slam and sell those fishes.
Oh, okay.
Someone that is very honest, that you trust in working for you in the boat, can save you from all those things. And sometimes they can go, it's profitable, but at times again they can go, they won't have any catches. When they come back, you the boat owner have to provide the fuel, the feeding and everything for them.
Okay, hope the people that are in your boat are Gambians, because I'm very particular. They are young Gambians and within the youth range?
I have about 80% that are Gambian. I think I only have 4 Senegalese working in the boat.
Okay, and they are very young people within your age range?
Yes.
Because I want you to encourage within your age.
Yeah, within my age to 36.
To 36.
I have one that is 36.
Okay, that's fair enough. I'm not trying to be biased, but I always emphasize the fact that young people should always support other young people.
Sure.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rohi, for having us. I know I've been calling you, bothering you that we should have this show. But then it's the public that actually requested that they want this, because like I said before, when we had 1 year, I had a lot of people give me recommendations that I should be going outside to do more of these outdoor programs. If you came to the studio, these young people would not know that you have a boat to visualize on their own. So this is it. That is why I always say this. There's no need to travel. There is no need to travel. We can make it here. Have you traveled before?
No.
I've never traveled before. I've never traveled before. I don't even know how an airplane looks. And I'm happy. I'm living in the Gambia and I'm pushing. You know, so sometimes when we are having plans to travel, let's travel for education. Let's travel for capacity building trainings. I feel that those are some of the things that are important, but not traveling to go and hustle and not traveling to go and suffer. That is not what we need. We need young people like this to develop the Gambia. Fishing, poultry, you name it. And I'm so happy that you're going to school at the same time, because I always emphasize that you can be a footballer and be a doctor. You can be a singer and be a plumber, or whatever that you might call it. So education always is important to accompany these things. Thank you so much. Final words to these young people before we leave.
I think all I always have for my fellow young Gambians is to be each other's brothers keepers and not to look low on anything. Here, all I find is sometimes the people think I am being biased, but that's not it. We own these things. We need to take responsibility of them. Let's be each other's brothers keepers, work together, not look low onto any work. Just do it and realize the profit at the end of the day. This is what I have for my...
Yeah, thank you so much, Rohi, thank you so much for having us. So viewers, we are going to a next stop. I'm not going to tell you the other young people that you're going to feature, but you're going to have to stay tuned to find out a group of other young people that we are going to feature. It's exclusively outdoor. We are not going to the studio this particular program. The studio is X. So stay tuned. It's the Youth Dialogue. We'll be right back. Hello viewers, you're watching the Youth Dialogue on QTV and as well listening on 103.3. We visited Rohi in Sanyang and Gunju respectively. Like I said before, Rohi is a mother, Rohi is a student, Rohi is a wife, Rohi is a poultry owner, and she's a boat owner. So inspirational there. Like I said before, this week on the Youth Dialogue, we are not going into the studios. It's exclusively an outdoor program. And here we are in Kotu visiting these young people who are benefiting from the DUNU project sponsored by the ILO. They construct roads as well as involved in the rehabilitation of roads. So we deem it necessary to come here and see what they do. And we're about to have a demonstration of how these young people use this very simple method to construct and rehabilitate roads. So stay tuned as we bring you the demonstration and interviews in the long run. Yes, viewers, like I said before, you are watching the Youth Dialogue on QTV and listening on Q Radio 103.3. I told you that this week we will not be going into the studios, but we'll be going outside to show what these young people are doing in this country. And I said that the ILO sponsored a project for young people in the Gambia for road constructions as well as road rehabilitations. And we have a process already going on here. So can I have somebody talk to me about what is happening right now? Yes, what is your name?
My name is Esa Keta,
Yes, Esa.
the contract manager, marketing and contract manager.
Okay.
This process we do it. This is for 20-liter gallon. We cut it. It's going to be 16-liter now. But when you measure it, it's going to be 35 centimeters and 20 centimeters. For that, it's containing 0.07 cubic meters when you put it into the donor bags. Yeah.
So right now, which means you guys just use plain sand for the road construction and the rehabilitation?
No, we use the gravel to put it onto this. At this moment, we don't have that materials put into there. That's why we are putting this sand or black sand into the material. And when we put this sand or gravel there, we compact it. And after when we compact it already, we lay the gravel on top of it for 10 centimeters, and we put the rat-rye on top of it for final layers 10 centimeters. It's going to be 20 centimeters.
Okay. Wow, this is interesting. Anyway, let's continue the process, and then if you guys start another thing, we'll be able to continue. Yeah. Yes, stay tuned. More processes coming on, I can say. Yes. Yeah, it seems like this is another stage of the rehabilitation or construction, which is which?
Yeah, this is another way of rehabilitation or construction of the road. In fact, yeah, we can do it. We can use it both sides, either rehabilitation or construction of the road. This is the foundation of the road. When we put the donor bags like this, we take these compactors. Where's the compactors? We take the compactors and hit it. This is the way they hit it, and when you are hitting it, it's not necessary you hit it with a power. You make it easy. When it is count, it's going to be measured with 40 centimeters. If you measure it, if you compact it already, you measure it. It's going to give you the 40 centimeters square. For this 40 centimeters square, and after this thing is going to be carried a load of 250 kilonewtons. It's very heavy and very solid things. And when you put it there, you put this thing laterally between the boxes and compact it again. When you compact it again, and you put the laterite on top of it to cover all these boxes. If you want, you can make it one layer. If you want, you can make it two layer or more than that to be the safest side of it. Yeah, one layer can be okay, but maybe sometimes when you have a place which is very deep, you can put it 3 to 4 to 5 layers. It depends. Yeah. After all this, you put the laterite on top of it. Yeah.
So what is that laterite we're talking about? Because these terms are new to me, so you're going to have to explain in depth so that we'll be able to understand.
This one, maybe you can say that it's a laterite.
Okay.
This is the hard aggregates.
Okay.
Yeah, they have two types. When you say fine aggregate, maybe that is this black sand.
Okay.
When you say that the hard aggregate is talking about this laterite.
Okay.
This laterite, but the gravel is different from the laterite.
Okay.
Yeah, the gravel is somehow finer than this other one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So what is the next process? We are doing this right now. I can see that it's done by women. Is it done by women exclusively? Is this particular part done by women exclusively? Because I saw that when this stage came, I saw people saying "Jigeni nyoko de def." So I want to know if it's exclusively for women, or you guys, or you both do it. Okay, but you just push the girls to do this part of the activity. It's very good, and I'm so happy that I see women engaging in these things, because society sometimes deprives our young women from engaging in certain activities like this. But seeing majority women, I am so happy that they took this initiative, and also I'm so happy that the ministry also decided to involve them, because they could have exclusively targeted men, because that is the tradition most of the time in the Gambia and other African countries. So thumbs up to yourselves, You guys should clap for them, the guys, yes. Not the women clapping for themselves, but the guys. Come on, yes. Thank you. So talk to, what is the next activity? What is the next activity?
Yeah, for this, after this stage,
Yeah.
we're going to put this thing, gravel on top of it for 10 centimeters. Okay. Yeah, but we don't have a gravel here. But yeah, let's do these other things. Yeah, we
so
put
this
it
is
on.
a plan B?
Yeah, this is the plan B.
Okay.
For this stage, where we should put this laterite on top of it, because the bags will be exposed to the sunlight. When it's exposed to the sunlight, it will cause this damage of the bags. That's why we put it onto like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is the importance of putting this on top, so that the bags are not destroyed.
Exactly. It's the why we put it on top of it. Yeah.
So after this particular activity, what is next after this?
This is for the gravel. After this gravel, for 10 centimeters, we're going to put the laterite on top of it. The laterite on top of it. But for this, at this stage, we should put the water in and compact it to be more stronger than, or more compacted than which this stage it is. And after this, we put the laterite on top of it. And after the laterite, we put the water on top of it and compact it. Yeah.
So is this a good way of constructing or rehabilitating roads? How good is it? How long does it last, and the list goes on?
It can be last for 10 years or more than 10 years, because they started into the Kenya, where the place they put it there is more than 10 years now. They don't in fact maintain it yet. Yeah.
So have you guys received any contract so far? Any contract in relation to this? Because I always say this. I know duty bearers are watching. I always say that in the Gambia here, we have a lot of trainings. I thank God that Mr. Fanding Kinta is here, and he will have to answer few questions. I always say that we provide trainings for our young people. Having trainings is one thing, creating opportunities is one thing, but giving them the actual employment is another thing. So I just want to know, after you guys have done this intensive training, do you have people come to you and say, okay, we want you guys to come and do this, give you mini contracts here and there that you'll be able to have something from?
Yeah, as a market manager, we are here and we knock all the corners of the Gambia for the area council. We went up to the Basse, but yes, still now we don't have no contract. Yeah, we went to KMC, we went to BTC, we went to everywhere in the Gambia, and we are here and we are knocking the private sectors, door of the private sectors, to help them, to help us to get the contracts. But yes, still we don't get no contract yet.
Okay, so meaning as we speak, you guys are doing different things. Maybe those who are going to school, those who are doing other activities are doing it, but you're not doing any activity at the point in time in relation to a contract for this particular road rehabilitation and construction.
Yeah. That is really. But in the Gambia here, so many people are sitting down. They are not working. Some are going to school. That's right. Some are engaging. But some are, when you see that the Gambia, 95% of youths are sitting down. They don't have no job. They don't have nothing. When you have this, we can employ more people to work. When we employ more people, we will reduce the employment rate in the Gambia unemployment rate in the Gambia.
Okay. But I am also giving recommendations that you start with voluntary services, maybe. Maybe if one day you just go to the KMC and start doing some sort of a rehabilitation, if the mayor or any other person in the KMC sees you do the actual thing, they will say, okay, we have to look at these people and give them some proper employment. Have you guys been volunteering to maybe see a particular area of road that is not in good shape and stuff to just volunteer?
It's not in our mind, but we don't do it yet. For this case, we went into the KMC when we have a contract. Even we don't have this thing. We don't have funds to help us to do this contract. Maybe you can do this when we have a contract with you. You provide us our materials and we can do the labor work for you. Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, then I'm calling on KMC and I'm also calling on BCC. Sometimes I say these duty bearers, I believe that they use the youth dialogue as a means for setting policies for young people, because this is a safe space for young people where young people come and lay their complaints and talk about some of the opportunities and challenges that are available. So these are young people who are engaged in road rehabilitation and construction. Before you go and bring us some people from other countries, these are your young people. They are capable, they can do it. So check them out, give them a little contract, and then, employment opportunities are there, create it for them. Just do not just train these young people, but give them the actual employment. That is what we need in the Gambia. So back to the activity. What is next? Are we done here?
We are 5 in number as a executive managing team. I can allow my managing director to come and emphasize some of the talking.
Yeah, so let's talk about the activity for now. What is left? Are we done?
We are not done yet, because this is less than even 10 centimeters. We need to put something there. We're going to be 20 centimeters, and we have to measure that where the road, you put the road into two direction, either in slopey one direction or in slopey both direction. We don't do it yet. That's the everything. For this moment, we are not ready to finish it. It's not yet a finishing point.
Okay, so apart from this road rehabilitation and construction, what else do you do? Do you do something else as a person?
Yeah, we do, just like we do culverts, we can do pavement roads, because we have so many engineers with us. We have 2 civil engineers with us. We have building engineers with us. We have architects with us, and the deaf people too, they are there. For this this moment, when we have even drainage, we can do it. We can construct drainage. We have so many quality people we can do. We have talent to do that.
Okay, so I mean, you as a person, for instance, now that you don't have a contract for a road rehabilitation or construction, what do you do? What do you do to make a living?
I'm a civil engineering from Sekuma Food Institution, HND. I have normally, sometimes I get my own contracts. I build this thing. I build houses. So many houses I build it. Yeah. I got my own contracts. I always have my own contracts for building.
Okay. What is your name?
My name is Sena Bujame, the managing director of the company.
The managing director of the company is a female. Oh my gosh! Yes, this is exciting already. So let's talk about this activity. What really motivated you to be part of this ILO-sponsored road rehabilitation and construction?
Well, for a start, it was really something that I was really motivated to come and join in. The reason why I did came for the start was because I had nothing to do. I graduated, furthered my studies, and then yet still there was no inquiry to say this is something that you can do to occupy yourself in your activities, and then at least have a lively livelihood that you can help yourself from. So I decided one that I had of a thing that it has to do with building your own capacity and then doing something for your country. So I came on board, but it was only when I started the work that I get to realize that this was something that was more of a passion in me, that I feel I can do. Well, for a start, people get to demolish you to say you are a female, so certain things aren't meant for you. But I just had to give a deaf ear to what people are saying and just go forward to say this is something good for us. It's something that it's clean and then it's lively, and then you can be proud of yourself anywhere to say, I'm doing this for my country. Not doing just to create the employment, but within yourselves as well. The country is ours. So we need youths to come on board to say, well, this is something that I can do. And this is what motivated me to stay. I have to stay in this thing to make sure that things work for us in the country.
So what do you have to tell some of the people that can give you contracts? Because I'm aware that you guys do not have any contracts as we speak. And then you guys have the training, but if you do not, practice it, you guys will not be able to really get what you want to get out of it.
Well, I am honestly really pledging to the government, most especially the government. The government is here for the youths, most especially. Whenever they go into elections, they say the youths should come out and vote. So when the youths come out and vote, the government should really be there to support the youths in activities that are really, really good and encouraging. This isn't just something that you can just train and just let go. It's a form of development for the country as well. When the roads are rehabilitated and are strong, people can access it. It's a good thing for all of us in the roadside. The women that are going to the farms, mostly in the rural areas, they cannot even have access to their farmlands because of why during the rainy season, the water tendency gets so high that all the roads are being covered with the water. So with this technology, it can be used in all areas in the communities around those rural areas. So we're pledging to the government to give us contracts as used. We're going to create employment within ourselves and other youths. For instance, if you should have a meter square of road construction, we're not just considering the 127. This is a very big number. For the first time in the whole world, 127 youths are in one company. So this is at least most of the greatest things that the government should be even looking for. Youths are coming on board to say, I want to do this. We have been bidding on contracts from the whole world side of the country. We've been to all the area councils, but yes, so far we've been contacting them, but we still can't get a contract. So we're just pledging to the government to assist the youth in their endeavors to make sure that things work for the country. Let's try to make a stop to the back way entrepreneurship, because youth are saying there's nothing we can do, but if we have this, it's a good means to say let's stop the back way. Yeah.
Yes, you guys just heard it from her. You guys will be giving you all your manifestos saying that young people, young people, young people. She said it herself. Put it into practice. We are tired of words. Walk the talk. That is what we say. Walk the talk. Anyway, I'm so proud of you as a woman. I'm so proud of you as a woman being here and encouraging other young women. So finally, what do you have to tell young women out there who do not want to be engaged into certain activities that society will say, yo jigenga, you cannot do this? What do you have to say?
Okay, to all, most especially all the females out there.
And our parents as well, because they are the ones that stop us sometimes and say that you're not capable of this because you're dumb, stuff like that.
To all the females and all the mothers and all the fathers, I want to say that let's not try to say this is what is good for your kid. If you see your kid trying to do something good for him or herself, just allow the person to go and start. A starting point is the best point of everything. So if there's a starting point for everything, then things will work. It's not always about sitting in the office and doing some other stuff. There are so many other things that you can be into it and then you can be a multi-billionaire. Look at the entrepreneurs. Who will say that those entrepreneurs like Basiru Jawara and others, people will learn to say they're not even educated. And yes, they are most of them among them the first millionaires in the whole world. People are talking about them. So if you are saying I don't have to come into certain types of work because I feel I can just do, or maybe because it will just be a form of demotion to myself, do not look onto that. Just look onto your self-pride. Look onto how it will be beneficial to yourself, your family, and your country at large, and it will work.
Yeah, mind you, because I like money so much, I'm about to start a business. Because at some point, I realized that sitting in the office cannot pay my bills. I have to start a business. So entrepreneurship is the real deal. Entrepreneurship is the real deal. Thank you so much. I'm so proud of you once again. And then reminder, give them a contract. They deserve it. These are young, hardworking people. Give them a contract. So we have a duty bearer here. All these questions that they are raising about not having a contract, and the list goes on. He's going to come here and help us answer those things, because I feel that these young people really deserve to have a contract and a proper employment. It's just not about the training. So we will take a short break and we will have Mr. Fanding Kinte for a short interview. Stay tuned. Yes, like I said before, we are going to have Mr. Fanding Kinte, who is the project coordinator. Yes, I must express my disappointment that these young people are yet to secure a contract for a training that they're so good at. I can see that these young people, we just had a demonstration and they showed the entire nation how this is done. And it seems like these young people are ready to work but cannot secure a contract yet.
Yes, thank you very much, Jennifer. First of all, I would like to seize the opportunity to introduce the project, to give you the background of the project. This is a one-year pilot project funded by the Japanese government through ILO in collaboration with the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment. I mean, it is here to empower the youth with skills, so that they can earn a living. Because most of the time, their complaints are that they don't have jobs. That is the reason why some of them seize this opportunity, seize this backway syndrome to take this risky road to go to Europe simply because they feel they don't have any jobs. So, but with the introduction of this project, which is employment creation for the youth to build sustainable peace in the Gambia, it's an ILO program, which is a new technology which trains young people, the donor technology, which is based on helping to construct and to rehabilitate some of the roads which are immotorable. Because you could bear witness that we have lots of roads here in the country which are not motorable. And this is one way, to create employment in a way that it can create employment in the construction sector. Because in the construction sector, it's labor intensive. Instead of using machines, you can use labor, which is, the required, that means you need the requirement of the young people. So you could see that, this short route, it has engaged about 125 young people, who are trained on road construction and maintenance. So at the end of the day, when they haven't been qualified, they can now look for jobs. And according to the program, the project also, after finishing this, they were required to establish themselves and form an enterprise so that they become job creators instead of job seekers. That's the main idea, that's the main goal of this project. Now that they have finished, they've registered themselves with Attorney General's chambers, they've registered with GPPA, now they're out there to seek for contracts.
Yeah, the contract part. The contract part I'm so interested in because that is the first thing I even asked you, because I felt like by now these young people should have been engaged in actual employment, actual practice.
And now the contract part, they have gone throughout the country, contacting the municipal, so the area councils, the municipal councils, and they've also gone very far, according to my understanding, with KMC, who actually was represented here, during the exit strategy. And we made mention that, well, the bottleneck now is how can these young people now get employed? And when this message was relayed to KMC, their management invited them for a discussion, and I understand that there has been about 2 roads which is proposed to be given to them for a pilot. So once that is done perfectly to their satisfaction, they are guaranteed that they will be given some more works to do. So that is yet to start.
That is yet to start anyway, so we are not going to put our hopes up till we get the contract.
Absolutely. So we are very happy in the first place with KMC for inviting, because that's the first step, for inviting them, and it's also in the pipeline for them to be given a pilot road to build.
Yeah, I know you work for the Ministry of Trade, so I would just like to know if there are any plans at the Ministry of Trade of other activities for youth unemployment, because I know that this particular ministry is responsible for giving these young people some sort of employment. So do you know if there are any plans at the ministry of other projects coming up, ideas of the ministry itself to employ our young people?
There are a whole lot of, plans that at the Ministry of at Multai that is in ongoing. They're actually working tirelessly to make sure that these young people are employed. And one of these is related to this project. The permanent secretary, during the steering committee meeting, had actually stressed the importance of marketing this project, this product, because it's like we have a product and now we need to market it. And he's really, really very supportive to market this product. This product. And once it is done, probably it would be scaled to the honorable minister for him to table it with the cabinet. So that these young people can be empowered, because they have got the skills now, and now what is now lacking is to engage them. So once it becomes a policy, at cabinet level, probably it can make a big difference in terms of creating.
Because Mr. Kinte, I hear young people saying that they're tired of trainings. They've gone for 100 trainings already, and they go for these trainings and then they don't get employment. So I don't know what the problem is. I see youth organizations organizing trainings, but these young people cannot secure the actual employment. Just last week, I invited Lamin BCC. He was talking about the fact that the National Youth Council have been providing a lot of opportunities for young people as in trainings. But I say that trainings are not enough. We need actual employment.
Absolutely, you are quite right, because it's something that we need to have. We need to have a paradigm shift. Instead of, stopping at the output results, we need to go another step, which is the outcome results. The training that has been conducted, what difference has it brought in the life of these young people? And that is the time when actually they are able to, earn themselves contracts, particularly with these young people. So once that is done, that means to say the outcome results have been achieved. And definitely we are now working towards that. We are knocking at the doors of both the government, both the municipalities, the private sector, these estate owners, because these people, the competitive advantage is that, they can be able to construct roads that you may not need a big machine. Because you see, all these material that they use here are locally available, and it's very cost effective. And by extension, you are creating employment for the young people. You see, if you give a road of this size to a contractor who is using a machine, would do it within, couple of days. But you are depriving young people employment. But once you give those young people, that means you are creating employment for them. Yeah, and it has other benefits, social benefits, different from only employing them.
And then the one who was explaining during the demonstration said that this is good enough. This can be here for a period of a decade or so, and it will be very, very strong, because I wanted to know if these roads that these young people are constructing are good enough. But I'm given assurance that they are very good, and then they will be able to serve like any other road that is given to any other constructor. And another thing is that this project is funded by the ILO, am I right? This is not funded by the Gambian government, it's funded by the ILO, am I right?
No, it's funded by the Japanese government.
Exactly.
Through ILO, International Labour Organization, in collaboration with the Ministry of Trade. Yeah. So it's not funding that is coming from the government.
Exactly. This is funding that is not coming from the government. No. Then where is the government in relation to providing this employment? Because the money is not from their pockets. Now it's your time to provide employment for these young people. So that is the issue here. Thank you so much, Mr. Funding Kinte, for your time. And thank you for mobilizing these young people. Like I always say, the Youth Dialogue is the safe space for young people in this country. We make sure by all means, wherever you are, we meet you and then they talk about whatever they want to talk about, so that these young people will live a healthy life, because they deserve it. They deserve it.
Thank you very much, Jenaba. I would also, before concluding, I would extend my thanks and gratitude to the Japanese government for giving these young people an opportunity that they could use for their livelihood. And if you look at this project, it's a $1 million project, which is into three components. One is, this go-to side, and there's another one which is Gunjur that has also been completed. It's a 2.5 kilometer road that is leading from the main highway that goes to Katong to the fish landing site. And there's another one also which is also been constructed. That's the rehabilitation of a mixed science center in Same Karantaba. So you could see that in $1 million US, all these interventions are possible, and it's creating a great change in the life of these young people.
Yeah, but then, so are they giving allowances sometimes, little allowances for themselves out of that particular money that?
Exactly. Thank you very much for asking that question. You know, with ILO, they have this policy of decent work. These young people were given an allowance of $200 per day. And also they were trained on what we call occupational safety and health, because you cannot engage young people without actually training them on how to comport themselves at a workplace to avoid accidents. And during that training also, they had this insurance cover, medical insurance cover, which actually covers the whole period of the project. And they were also given 1 day training on how to establish your business. That training was conducted by a startup business incubator, Adu Jallo. Exactly. He conducted that 1 day training. So you could see that, for decent work, they were given an allowance of $200 per day, and they were also, trained on occupational safety and health, and additionally, they were also trained on entrepreneurship, how to establish themselves, because there are so many expectations. Can you imagine young people who have never actually been into business? You want them to establish a business. For you to succeed, they need to have at least a day training to know what is actually expected to make your business grow or to start up your business.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kinte, for your time. And like I said before, mobilizing these young people and also involving women and as well as young people who are physically challenged. They can't be here because you explained that the interpreter is engaged or something. But then I'm so happy that you decided to engage all of these people. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, viewers, that is all we have for you in this edition of the Youth Dialogue. I really enjoyed this episode because I went to Gunjur, I went to Sanyang, and here I am with young people who do rehabilitation of roads as well as construction funded by the ILO. Just to give a reminder that this is funded by the ILO, and I feel like the government of the Gambia can provide employment for these young people because they're doing extremely well and they're ready to work. This week, there's nothing like Rugi's creation. Rugi is X this week. This week, I'm wearing my jean and, of course, some of these protective gears that these young people gave me to wear. So this week, there's nothing like Rugi's creation, but next week, inshallah, till I come your way next week with other young people who are doing extremely well in different walks of life. And also, just to give you a reminder quickly, that next week is the Youth of the Month. I'm so excited to introduce who our Youth of the Month will be next week. You will see the person and you will know that the person really deserves it. Till I come your way next week, it's bye for now. Thank you so much for your time.